Yes, the people, we're back with another video. Today's video is going to be a really quick one. Essentially, I'm going to be covering how to read the news for your day trading, um, what website to use, how to filter the news so that it is best presented to you, and then how to apply news events to your actual trading. This goes for Forex, commodities, um, and indices. At least that's what I trade. Also goes for some crypto as well. Essentially, you're going to go to this website, forexfactory.com, free to use. And this is what your page is going to look like when you launch the website. So there's going to be a whole bunch of BS all over the website that you don't need. So what you're going to go to is this button over here that says filter. Click this. We are essentially going to remove all the irrelevant news. And so we're going to get rid of the yellow news folders, which essentially aren't too relevant. And then the red and the orange we're going to keep. Currencies, we're going to remove all the currencies that are irrelevant. So AUD, we don't trade. Canadian, I don't trade. CHF, that's the franc, I don't trade. I don't trade this. I do trade Euro USD, so I do want this pair. I do trade GBP USD, so I'm keeping this pair. I don't trade the Japanese yen, so I'm removing it. I don't trade the New Zealand dollar, so I'm removing it. And I'm keeping the USD. We're pressing apply filter. And no news today. But we can see, for example, tomorrow, there is relatively low impact news for the US dollar. It comes out at 1:30 p.m. And so, this isn't too relevant, so I trade tomorrow. But let's go to a day where there was significant news events. So we can see here that on Friday, the 15th of September, and what's cool about this is it automatically adjusts to your time zone. So this is my local time in London, 6:43 p.m. But it shows you what time the news comes out in your local time, what the news is going to be, and then you've got two columns here, the forecast and the actual. And if we press on this over here, it essentially tells us, okay, what is this? So it measures the level of diffusion index, blah, blah, blah. All we need to know is the usual effect. In this case, actual is greater. If actual is greater than forecast, then this is good for the currency. And good for the currency means that any pair trading against the USD will go down in value. So if we've got a news event that is good for USD, then GBP slash USD will go down. Does that make sense? So if USD has a positive news event, then GBP USD goes down in value. Any pair against the US dollar goes down in value because USD is more powerful that day. However, if we have a news event whereby, if we look at this news event over here, we've got a news event whereby actual greater than forecast is good, but actual was lower than forecast, so USD goes down, then anything against the USD goes up in value. And I'm summarizing that for you over here. So if we've got the euro against the USD, anything good for the euro and the price of the pair goes up. Anything bad for the euro and the price for the currency pair goes down. Anything good for the dollar and the price of the pair goes down. Anything good, anything bad for the dollar and the price of the pair goes up. I hope that makes sense. Essentially, the inverse goes for anything where it's USD versus JPY. So they're directly correlated here, inversely correlated here. I hope that makes sense. Now, let me give you guys an example of, a news event and its effect on price action. So if we go to September the 13th, 2023, which was just last week, last Wednesday, we saw that CPI was released for the USD and the news event was positive for the USD. So if we press on this over here, it says that actual greater than forecast is good. The news came out at 1:30 p.m. So as a trader with a brain, I would have waited until 1:30 p.m. to see what the news release is and then traded according to how that's priced into the market. So we saw that good for the USD. What would that mean for GBP USD? So if the news was good for USD, then it was bad for GBP USD, for anything against the USD. And so we can see that on this day, Wednesday, the 13th of September, news events were good for USD. And as a result, we can see that at 1:30 p.m., which is exactly when the news came out, there was a big, huge wick to the downside for the price action of GBP slash USD. And we see it out here. So news release was good for USD. That means it was bad for GBP USD. And as a result, we had this huge wick down. And that is precisely why we avoid trading big news events. Because it's super unpredictable. You can get these huge wicks that can trigger your stop losses and you can lose a whole bunch of money. So, if you're already unprofitable, trading on news events can just further hurt your probabilities in terms of your win rate and your profitability. So there is no need to be trading big news events. You can note this down, but the news events I would avoid trading. So news events I avoid trading are the following: CPI, PPI, FOMC, NFP. Essentially, if any of these news events are present on a particular day for one of the currency pairs you are trading, then avoid that currency on that day. Simply because the market is going to just be way too volatile on that particular day, too unpredictable, and it's just going to be too much like gambling. And so you should just avoid that pair, find another pair, or wait for another day. Live to trade another day. Don't risk your money on these particular news events. I hope that makes sense. Essentially, this is what the website looks like. You're going to go and filter. You're going to filter out your currencies. You're going to only click on the folders that are relevant to you. So you want to maybe keep the orange is really just a matter of your risk tolerance. For me personally, I like to see the orange folders just to read them, but I will trade days where it's just orange news. Red news is a lot more significant. So I'd really look at what the news is saying and wait for that to get priced in. I'd completely avoid days where CPI, PPI, FOMC, or NFP are coming out for that particular pair, or I'd look for another pair to trade on that day. And how to read the news event: you're going to click over here on detail. You're going to read what the usual effect is. You're going to wait for the news to be announced. You're going to see what the actual news is versus the forecast. And as a result, you can, price the news into the price action for the pair on that particular day. And here was a great example of how a huge wick down coincided with some great news for the USD, which in turn essentially resulted in bad news for GBP USD. I think that's pretty much it. So a really short video. We covered everything with regards to news. You want to be doing this every single day at the start of sort of before your session starts. So for me, I trade London sessions, so I'd be looking at Forex Factory, checking all the news before 8 a.m., looking for any news events. And depending on sort of what the news events are looking like for that day, I will decide whether or not I want to trade that day. Very simple, very easy. I made this video because it came up in one of the comments, and so I quickly made the video. So I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment below if you liked the video, if you found it useful. If there's any other questions you don't have, I've been trading for 18 months, profitable after 10 months, and I've been essentially, trading on sort of prop funded accounts for the past 8 months. Still pretty new to YouTube, but hopefully trying to push out 3 to 4 videos per week. Appreciate you lot. Any feedback, I appreciate. I'm still new to this YouTube stuff. And yeah, I think that's about it. Hope you found this useful. Take care. Peace.